Um, so we decided to do our group project on deep brain stimulation within Parkinson's disease. So Parkinson's disease is a progressive nervous disorder affecting movement caused by loss of nerve cells um, that affect like the release of dopamine, um, genetic mutation within the Lewy bodies, um, and exposure to toxins over time, uh, affecting the brain's ability to function properly. Symptoms can be shaking, like a tremor, stiffness, difficulty walking or balance, coordination and memory, anything kind of mental, resulting in dementia even. So in order to become a patient with deep brain stimulation, you first have to have Parkinson's disease for 4 years. Go through oral trials, medications, everything like that. Important thing to keep in mind is that deep brain stimulation is not for everybody. If you have a memory or mental impairment already, it can actually possibly cause harm to that person. But if you do register with the ability to have deep brain stimulation, it can be used to lessen stiffness, tremors, and decrease slowness. So for treatment, you usually start with your diagnosis. You'll get Parkinson's, be diagnosed with it. You'll first try an oral medication, which can be things like dopamine antagonists. Then you'll move on. If that doesn't work, you'll move on to a transdermal medication, which is a patch sparking in like frequency and electrodes stimulation to a certain muscle group superficially. And then you'll do an injectable medication such as stem cells or epinephrine, and then move into deep brain stimulation if you need surgical help. The whole time you're doing this, you're going to be working with multiple therapists, like physiotherapists, occupational therapists, kinesiologists, anybody to help with that movement pattern. So what is deep brain stimulation? It's a neurological procedure where electrodes are implanted into your brain with the use of high frequency electrodes to stimulate certain areas and portions of your brain. The goal is to increase movement capabilities within the body. So we have a picture kind of in the middle, which resembles the areas like all the pieces to deep brain stimulation and some of the major target areas. So how DBS works is leads are then implanted into target areas of your brain. On the end is the electrode that actually does the stimulation. A pulse generator creates an electrical impulse, which is placed just below the collarbone, and there's a wire running from it up into your brain, into those leads to modify circuits of the brain. And then you have a second device in order to control the pulse generator and turn it on and off. So deep brain stimulation target areas. These are things like the subthalamic nucleus, which helps with tremor, bradykinesia, rigidity, walking, and balance. Subthalamic nigra, which is parts of the basal ganglia, helps with movement regulation. You have the globus pallidus internus, which is a wide range of symptoms, but prevents unwanted movements. Can help with your resting tremor, per se, or just spastic movements. Ventral intermedius nucleus of the thalamus. This kind of it mainly helps with tremor when stimulating this portion of the brain, and the global pallidus internus is the conscious and proprioceptive movements. So first of all, CT scan MRIs are always taken so that you know where to place the electrodes, and they can pinpoint the areas that need to be improved. And then ultimately all areas, all patients are different. So each implantment and everything is special to that patient. So it's very different for everybody. Thank you.